Hi guys, so today's video is a tutorial on how to paint a cat's eye with pastel pencils. I am using Derwent and Carbotello from Stabilo. So here I am sharpening the pencils. It's very tricky to sharpen these pencils. They break, they crumble a lot. I'm using this Derwent sharpener that it's manual and it's awesome. I mean, it sharpens anything, but even this sharpener is not. It's not 100% great with these pencils, and it can only sharpen them to a point. Not that tiny thin point that you might want or use with color pencils, but it gets like you see in the image. Don't sharpen it much more than that because it will break and it will crumble actually. So this is a little bit of paper. It's a Canson Mittent, I don't know how to pronounce it. It will be in the description box also. I'm using a Pinterest photo I saw of a cat's eye. I love the photo, the contrast. I thought it was great, and I'm leaving the link on the description box if you want to see the photo and if you want to. Oh, and I'm gonna put it right here in the corner. Maybe I'll just keep it through the whole thing. Although I'm not copying the photo, I'm just taking it as a reference. It's not gonna be exactly like. I'm just using it for inspiration. So I was talking about the paper, and although it's one of the papers that always come up when pastel medium is used, at least when I started to search them, it's been a while since I do pastel. They all talked. It was great and all that, but I hated the texture. I just have a bunch of this paper lying around because I bought a lot. But then I found out like pastel mats and stuff, and that's just something else completely. So, but this was right here, and I wanted to. I started sketching. I started sketching this, and I wanted to paint with pastel. So, but my baby girl was sleeping, so I didn't know if I had much time to do it or not. I wanted to do a small thing, and I wanted to know if I could do this cat's eye because I haven't painted with pastel for a long time. So I grabbed the pencils, not the sticks, because it then will be a mess and I would have to clean it up and all. So I went with the pencils, and also this has a little bit of detail. And yeah, I used the Canson paper because it was right here. The other one was right here too, but I didn't want to use it because I don't paint with pastel for so long. I didn't paint for so long with pastel that I thought this was going to be like a failure. Like I always think when I start painting, but I really thought this was going to be bad. And so this was like me trying to get in touch with the pastel again. I filmed this because the last painting I did with color pencils, I thought it was going to be horrible because I started doing it and it was that horrible face, and I stopped recording because it's horrible. Well, what am I going to do with this? It's shit. So I'm not gonna use this, so I won't be filling my memory cards with this. I turned it off, but I kept it. It was annoying me that why isn't this working? Maybe I should work on it a little longer. What can I do? I could fix this. What's wrong? I could fix this. I would look it through the camera because that's what helps me to detect my mistakes or things I can make better. I started adjusting and adjusting and adjusting, and by the end of it, it was cool, and I did post that on Instagram, and people commented on it and saying it was great, or a great job, and Facebook. It was not many people, but I don't have many followers, so that was great. It was a great feedback, considering what I usually have. So I was like, why didn't I record this? Don't. So this cat's eye is exactly the same thing because I changed medium. The last thing I did was that piece of that bird, and this was the next thing I did, like the day after or 2 days after. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna record this. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna record this. But I used the paper that I don't love. So what I did here right now, I did the sketch. I sketched it with with the pencil that was on front of me, which was like this. Let me read this. Oh no, not this one. It was this. Whoop. Graphite aquarelle Faber-Castell. So this is a graphite that you can dissolve with water. That it was just lying around an HP, and I grabbed it. But you can use like a mechanical pencil, whatever pencil. You can also use like a pastel pencil of this one that you're going to use to draw, like I don't know, the brown or something. I don't know. So what I did, I applied the first layer here with this. I use like yellows, greens. Now I'm doing this black pupil. Is that how you call it? I don't know. I'm my native language is it's not English, as you probably figured. So I might say some mistakes. I hope I get the message. So right here I am going with a black line. So this paper is really like, it's, I think they call it a comb like bees, comb paper, comb textured paper. It really has like this, like a waffle like a waffle cookie. It really, so there you can see all the texture that that um, that is visible. So here I am trying to rub the first layer with this rubber, maybe this is silicone pencil, not pencil, brush, that I used to use in cake design. I don't know its purpose. I mean, where they should be used, but it helps while modeling figures, 3D figures. But these are really helpful here. I tried this the first time for this video, and they really help. You don't have to smudge it with your finger. You can, and I tried, but in this paper, Jesus, it doesn't help. It doesn't work. It's everything is so dry, and the wells are so big and so many. It's like you're painting in a paper with the net on it, separating you from the paper, the net, and you're just reaching the net. It's bad. Well, in this case, I kind of let some of that texture be because of his fur. It kind of helps there. So maybe you can adjust the paper according to the project you're making. If you or maybe you just like it. It's just a preference, a personal preference, I believe. So here I'm trying to focus on trying to already establish some details, like there's the reflections of the eye. This is a green he has in his eye that I couldn't match that green. I don't have that green. Maybe I should have put a little gouache there. But I'm going only to use gouache for the eye, the eye, of course, for the white of the eye, and for some whiskers and some fur that it's pretty white, and I wanted to make it more visible. I'm not gonna do every single hair of his fur. Because that would be impossible. I can't even count them. But I am going to make some, so it can also help to see where the hair is growing, and that's very important when you are painting fur. You need to see how long the fur is and where is it growing, the direction of the fur, the hair. So you don't have to paint them all. You can do like a layer that is kind of blurred or smudged, and then you add some detail with pencil, and then maybe an highlight. Like you get a darker and blurred underneath, a layer underneath. Then you have like the fur color and maybe some highlights of that fur, and that gives you the illusion that you painted all those. Like your brain just completes the scene and does all the rest of the hair for you. So these are some marks that I'm putting on, and I will keep building the layers. And to a certain extent, I'm looking at the reference photo, but I don't need it to be just like the reference photo. It doesn't mean anything to me. This is not a pet portrait. It won't mean anything to anyone. So I'm just making an exercise. So I need to see where's darker, where's lighter, where is lighter, and somewhat similar colors. Use somewhat similar colors, but we don't have to do everything. So this is barely realistic. It's not hyperrealism. So I keep building the layers, keep smudging, but the less layers I won't smudge, I think. Just so there's one thing I do more towards the end, which is the highlights. And when I'm doing the highlights, I try to put the white pencil on the spots that are highlighted, mainly that huge one that it's right there near the pupil. We're gonna have a problem. But then what was it? I wanted to use the pencils to make the highlights, because in pastels you can use light colors on top of dark colors, which is awesome, but it goes against the laws of physics. To everyone who uses like pencils, it's the other way around. You just can't do that. So you have to, or watercolors, you have to maintain your whites. Okay, so I guess you could do that here too, because might be helpful. See, I'm trying to smudge with the finger. It's almost exactly the same thing. This paper. So I was saying that to make the highlights, I tried to do it with the pencils, and although the Carbotella was a little better than the here I'm using the rubbing alcohol. There it is, so pretty. Yeah. Um, so with a little brush, use the alcohol, and you'll see how it smudges so much better. It makes it so vibrant. It's like you painting with ink because it dissolves. It dissolves the pastel, and so cool. So as I was saying, the highlights, the Carbotello white is much better for me. To me is much better than the Went. But still, I couldn't get the white I needed. I even tried like this Chinese white. Let me see how it's called. I had it laying. Oh, it's a Derwent too. Derwent drawing Chinese white 7200 7200 whatever 7200 I don't know 7200 oh ho whatever. So I tried it and nothing happened. I couldn't get the light, and it's so important that highlight makes it so much vibrant and so alive. I really needed that. So what I did, I I scraped off a little bit of the layers of pastel that I had, and I already could see the white of the paper a little bit, and then I used pastel pencils, and they they stick to the paper. But it wasn't white enough for me, so then I reached my gouache, my white gouache, and it became much better. With that gouache, I painted some hair to make it stand out and to give it motion. So now I am layering again, 'cause you have to layer a lot with pastels, depending on what you're doing. But right in this case, an eye it's filled with details. When it's so close, it's a really detailed structure, and you have to layer and layer. It's like colored pencils. It really gives so much dimension when you layer with different tones. They're all visible, and that's what makes it so much more interesting and real, I think. This is when you figure out why some pencils are hexagonal or triangle shaped, so they don't roll. It never bothers me too much, but now that I'm watching the footage, I see them rolling and rolling and rolling, and it's a bit annoying, maybe. Well, not when I'm painting, so maybe it's not annoying. So I'm going. See, you can still see the texture, because the layer below, it's very much. It's much lighter than what you're putting on. But I went with it since you can't layer that much in this paper, so it kind of compensates. In this case, went well. So I'm adding a little bit of gray here. Taking off some of the dust. Don't blow on your paper, because speed might come out and water activates the pastel. So here is where I'm starting with the white to make the highlights of the eyes, And yeah, it's very not impeccable. It's very very. It has just compare it with the photo. It just the photo is like it's like absolutely huge contrast, mainly because it's near the very dark areas. So I'm not getting it here, and it's not horrible, but it doesn't add that contrast and that interest and that reality vibe. Um, so I looked at it. I went back and do because you usually should paint the whole painting. It should become like together. Although the fur here, because it's more far away, I didn't even know I was going to do as much fur as I did, because the plan was really just basically the eye and maybe some hair around it. Not all this fur I did. Um, but you should build the painting all at once, because when you change something in one place, maybe you need to change something else in the painting that's near it, or maybe not near it, but that you need to change because you changed something else. So it should evolve as a whole. I think that's. I'm going to make another alcohol blending. If only I had alcohol. No, it's just a little bit. It's gonna dry, and I'm gonna try the um, the alcohol gel that I have lying around because of COVID-19. So yeah, now I just did like those people who go to the movies with you. They saw the movie before and they tell you everything before happens. Just great. Oh, I still have alcohol on this one. I don't understand. I don't remember this happening at all. Oh no. I filmed a parallel universe thingy. No. Aha. There you go. Yeah. Exactly. See? Very funny. Yep. No. Why was I? Why so much time? I mean, it's alcohol. If it's there, it's gonna go out in that position. You don't have to spank the bottle like that. Oh my god. So now I'm looking for something else. And I thought, does water work? It dissolves it. I've tried it afterwards. Because I didn't know if I could use this. It's a little thick. But then I've put it some water, and yeah, you can use it. It was very hot this day in this when I was painting this, and so the alcohol probably evaporate the water. Oh, the alcohol too. But the water kind of evaporated very fast, and it got sticky again. But you can do it. Here I am putting some rubbing alcohol into the white so I could. That's just sad because if it dilutes the pigments and the pigment is not enough, yeah, it's just not. I wasn't thinking. I just did it. Sometimes I'm not thinking. I'm just doing and experimenting and seeing how it goes. So it went well, but not. So here goes again. I was like, what? Oh, come on. I didn't have pigment there. It just went and diluted. Genius! Then I thought, I'm gonna try the Carbotel white and see. Because they're really good. And now, now I have this need to buy the biggest set of Carbotellos because they are so good. Oh no. What just happened? Oh, I cut the footage. This is me scraping the pastel with a palette knife. Yes, yes. See the white of the paper showing. You can do this with anything that's sharp, and be very careful because you might rip the paper or something. Just a tiny little bit, and I'm just doing that in the spot where the light should be stronger. And although it gets better, see the Carbotello, you'll see. It's not even on paper yet. Okay, you'll see. Oh, look at that. It's much better, isn't it? Still, I went for the gouache. I mean, it's not as vibrant. It's much better than the Derwent. It's much better. It's much opaque. Much more opaque. Here, I'm saying this is much better. I love you. I'm gonna buy the 60 pieces box. That also has a sharpener that I want to try. A pastel sharpener. I want to see that. I'll review it if I get it. If that's funny. When I get it. Just addicted to art materials. Anyone else? Just me. So right now I looked at it and I only have this coffee color right here. Coffee color is very professional. It's not an ochre or no yellow ochre. No, it's just a color coffee. What the? I used graphite too because I wanted to make things. It's one of those sticks. Graphite pure, peat graphite pure, something 200 something. This is an 2B or 3B, and I thought it would be really black. It's not really black because there's the shimmer of the graphite, but me was not thinking. I ruined the highlights by rubbing alcohol, and now I'm putting graphite that shines as hell. But it looks cool in that area. That's what I've learned. I'm doing poo poo. Oh no, but here it's not white. It just has this shimmer. Graphite is a good thing for that. Yep, it is. So I've learned that. But I put it away very quickly because it didn't fit anywhere else. Shoo. Right now, what am I doing? I'll keep adding like this ochre color and making like the connection between the black spots that were just hanging there almost at the end, and still they're just hanging there. And now the paper is a little wrinkled because I used the hot glue and it's starting to annoy me, so I glue it. There you go. Scotch tape or whatever you call it. And keep doing this fur, and right now I am really looking at. I even stopped making marks because I'm looking at the computer and starting and I'm looking how long is the fur and the orientation of its growth. So if the hair is long, you make longer strokes. If the hair is like really tiny and almost growing up, you do like little. And the direction is really important to look. And fur on animals, it's like it's growing everywhere, and there are spots that, like around the eye, it's going everywhere, and sometimes it's quite unpredictable. So a reference photo is really helpful at this, to get this information. And I don't know, some people I think are afraid or don't think it's good to have a reference photo. Well, I do. I do, because I don't know everything about every little thing I wanna paint, and it's just strange to me that people don't want to look. They say live models. Why live models? They don't stop for me to know, to see where the hair is growing. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. And when you have a photograph, the person that was there, or the cat or whatever, was alive. So it's a live model. So it's a live model. I don't know. I don't know. I just use photo references and try to improve. That's what I do. But I don't have many appreciators of my art. Appreciators. That is a great word. So see, in the part that I'm not really using the black to. I mean, I don't have other colors near black. I have to make the little hair stand out, so it doesn't look like a spot. But then, see, you can make look like the brown is fur using the black, and vice versa. Okay, but always look for the length and the orientation of the fur. That is the most important thing. See how the black part looks like fur, and the other, the rest, the ochre color is like just there. Yeah. So you don't draw all the hairs, but you draw some of the hairs. And yes, I wasn't still satisfied with the white. I knew I had to make something about it. And now that I'm looking at it, below the eye should be much brighter too, but I don't think I go there. I don't know. Don't remember. We'll see. Bets are on. And see, by having this little dark dot there, which is kind of there, but you make the white look whiter because there's more contrast. But still, it didn't make it for me, so I thought, gouache. I'm gonna have. Now I try to make the highlighter more vibrant yellow. Make it stand more, because I thought it was too green at that time. So I went with the white. With the yellow again. And now the gouache. Look at it. Yeah, the photo reference just. Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? So this part is not that light, so I paint with gouache, then I touch it, so it fades, like this part of the eye here. You have to put the gouache and then touch it. Otherwise, it's too bright, and you don't want all those highlights. You just want the right spots to be an highlight. And now I'm going to start with a few white lines indicating hair in particular places. That I see in the photo reference. So right now is more of highlights and touches. Although when you have the highlights, when you're doing highlights, at least I do that. I tend to like, oh, let's make it all shine. And no, you wanna when you just want a part of it to shine, because no, they can't all shine. Because then you'd be blind. No, because for something to stand out, the others must stay quiet, you know? So I'm adding a little light here after all, not enough, I think. Oh well. And that's one thing. If you're looking at your work for a long time, there might be things that are right there and that you change that you don't even notice. So take a step back, go and have some cake, ice cream, chocolate, whatever is your preference, and come back with a new eyes. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed it and it's helpful, and let me see what you came up with. Till next time, bye bye.